Manga-Waido.
My name is Koji Tatsumi. I work at a trading company. A few years ago, I was blamed for my boss's mistake and was demoted. Now I work in this small regional office with no hopes of ever getting promoted. Fortunately, the people currently around me believe my side of the story.
There's no way you screwed up. You're good at what you do.
I'm just lucky to have juniors like you that support me. Even though he's much younger than me, my junior, Toda, is very nice to me and we sometimes go drinking together. Thanks to Toda and my colleagues, I found my place at work and things are going pretty well. Then one day...
Tatsumi-san, I had terrible news!
What's wrong? You seem rattled.
The president's daughter has been assigned to our office!
President's daughter? Her name is Rumi Inaba-san, right? Our company, Inaba Limited, was founded by the president's daughter, Rumi Inaba's great-grandfather. Rumi-san had studied abroad and achieved high grades. After joining the company, she proved herself and was pegged to become the company's next president. However,
I heard she doesn't get along with senior management.
I also remember hearing that rumor when the former president's father passed away.
It seems that a certain faction within the upper management, which had been in conflict with the previous leadership, has supported the younger brother to become the next president. Ever since, Rumi-san has only been given menial tasks and is now rotting away in a junior position.
That's horrible. But how do you know so much about this?
I just love this kind of gossip. The reason she's coming here is probably to keep her away from the head office.
Well, at least we have someone high caliber working with us. We have been quite busy recently.
Yeah, compared to the head office, this place is much more peaceful. Let's take good care of her and help her settle in.
Look at you! Young and yet such a gentleman.
Have you only just noticed?
Everyone in the office agreed with Toda and began merrily planning how we'd celebrate her arrival.
I'll be working here from today. I'm Rumi Inaba. Nice to meet you all.
Who the hell is this?
Toda's surprise was not out of place. Inaba-san had dyed hair, makeup, and fake nails. Her look could easily be described as a gyaru. Last time I saw her at the head office, she seemed much more demure than she currently was. Perhaps she got so stressed working at the head office, she went off the rails a bit?
I don't know. Probably best not to ask her too much about it.
Old-fashioned as I am, I wasn't used to talking to people like this. As I worried about how I was going to interact with her...
Ta-da-poo, this is for you. If there's something you're not sure about, I've summarized it all in this document, so have a look. If you're still not sure about it, then you can ask me, okay?
Okay.
Inaba-san joined our office as a section manager. Maybe because this office was in the middle of nowhere, head office was happy to send her here. From day one, she cracked on with work and was very good at it. Everything was fine. But a month in, she was delegating so much of her work that she barely was doing any of herself. That's not entirely accurate. One could say she was being lazy by not doing any work, but the way she went about it was truly amazing. She was simply very good at matching tasks with other people's skills. She must have read through everyone's past experiences. Not an easy feat in itself.
Susumi-san, I'm putting you in charge of making these documents. It's a little complicated. Do you think you can manage? The deadline is the end of this week, but if you think you won't be able to manage it, I'll give you something else to do.
I can do it. I'm a little busy today, but I'll have it done by the day after tomorrow.
Really?
Yep, I'll start working on it. The reason she'd given me such a long deadline might have been because of how complex the task was. But as I told her, I finished it by midweek and handed it in. At first, she seemed suspicious at how fast I'd finished it, but the more she read, the more her expression changed.
What? Seriously?
You missed out a couple of things, so I added them in. I think that's everything, but if you could just go over it again just in case.
Who on earth are you?
I'm just a regular employee.
That can't be true. I gave you this because I knew you'd been to India before.
It's from the India branch, right? On the application for patents. The document was a progress report on the applications.
Yes, the local staff typed up a summary in Hindi. Translating it perfectly would have been challenging even for the legal department at HQ because the document contained not only specialized terms, but also words that are hard to interpret without knowledge of India's religions and culture. So I ask again, who the hell are you?
If you're asking me why it is I can read Hindi, it's because my father is German and used to run a company in India. Before coming here, I used to work there. My father started his business in Germany, and instead of expanding into China, which was growing rapidly at the time, he decided to move his company to India. I spent my teens growing up in India. In my 20s, I traveled all over India and had some scary experiences, but looking back now, they're all great memories. Afterwards, I began to develop an interest in Japan, which is where my mother was from. In my late 20s, I moved there. I joined my current company and was doing pretty well, but was made to take the blame for my boss's mistake and was demoted to a junior position. And that brings us to today.
I'd heard rumors that you'd grown up in India, but I never would have expected your background to be so interesting.
Rumors.
The guy who framed you was recently promoted to department head. I'd heard him talking about it. He's like the puppet for the company faction that didn't like me.
I see.
So, we share enemies.
I don't really see him as an enemy. I think I prefer the laid-back lifestyle here, away from all the corporate ladder climbing.
Wow, you're very forgiving. I could never forgive them. I was so stressed by them, I reverted back to my Gyaru ways.
You used to be a Gyaru?
Yep. Back in my student days, I was a full-blown Gyaru. Upon graduating, I changed my appearance to one more befitting of the president's daughter. But ever since that time, I decided I would stop hiding my true self.
After this encounter, Inaba-san seemed to have taken a liking to me and we started working together more often. The more time I spent with her, the more I couldn't stop thinking about one thing. I know this may be rude to ask.
What is it?
But you seem to have lost a lot of weight. I remember seeing you before, and compared to then, you seem a little worn out.
You realize what you're saying could be considered sexual harassment, right?
Oh no, that's not what I intended. I just thought you might be stressed with your father being the president of the company and everything.
Yes, well, we all have our own problems, don't we?
Would you like to come over for dinner sometime? I'll prepare you something really nice.
What?
Inaba-san was completely taken aback by my suggestion. I guess getting asked out by a man nearing his 40s would be pretty shocking to someone like Inaba-san. I have a daughter from my previous marriage. She's currently in the US, but I couldn't help notice the similarities between you and her. I hope I'm not overstepping. For the first time since I met her, Inaba-san smiled to me and said this.
Okay, well, if you insist.
Please. And so I invited Inaba-san to my house on the weekend. What I hadn't told her was that it wouldn't be me doing the cooking.
Welcome! You're as beautiful as Koji-san said you would be.
All of a sudden, a foreigner appeared out of nowhere and began speaking perfect Japanese. Anyone would have been surprised in such a situation. My father Edgemont missed me when I moved to Japan. So he opened a branch in Japan and became the head of that branch. He put a man he trusted in charge of the India branch.
Bon appetit!
My father's German, Indian, and Japanese cooking adored the table. Each dish was from a different country and there wasn't much cohesion in appearance, but each dish was delicious. Cooking had become one of my father's hobbies after my mother told him how good he was.
This is delicious!
It is, right?
Eat as much as you like! After enjoying dinner, Inaba-san began examining the various Indian ornaments around the house.
Is this blue pottery?
You know your pottery. I'm in love with this blue color.
Inaba-san displayed a surprising degree of knowledge of Indian culture and was enjoying talking to my father.
You sure surprise me with your looks, but your depth of knowledge and communication skills are truly remarkable. She's a cut above everyone else. Who on earth is she?
I briefly explained Inaba-san's history to my father.
How would you like to be the president of our Japan branch? I was just in the process of finding a suitable candidate.
What?
Ideally, I would have liked to have left it to my son, but he turned me down. If only I had someone young like you in charge, I could retire happily.
To which Inaba-san replied,
Let me think about it, please.
On the way back,
Your father is so interesting.
sorry about what he asked you. He's always been very impulsive like that. How do you remain so stoic?
I'm still so angry at my brother for taking away my opportunities. I want to get my own back.
I think there's a lot of ways to look at it. Personally, I just didn't see much use in seeking revenge and harboring resentment. The moment I take revenge, someone else is just gonna seek revenge back on me. Who cares who becomes president? The people who want to rise to the top can rise to the top. That's what my travels in India taught me. I'm sorry, I hope I haven't offended you.
I've decided. I'm going to become the president of your father's company.
What?
There's no point in involving myself in a power struggle at my current company, right?
Perhaps.
I don't know whether I'll live up to your father's expectations, but I'll do my best.
Okay. In that case, I'll join you.
What?
My father came up with the idea, but I think I'm also partly responsible for your decision. Plus, you're going to need someone who speaks Hindi, right, Madam President? And this is how I ended up working with Inaba-san at my father's company. There really is no telling what might happen in life. After this, we both left the company. Toda-san seemed upset, but we promised we'd still go drinking occasionally. After taking over the business, Inaba-san got the company on track and became known in the industry as the Gyaru president. One day, I received a call from Toda.
Our company seems interested in talking to yours. Apparently, they want to do business with you.
Okay, thanks for the information. A few days after Toda's call, we did indeed get a proposal from my previous company to do business together. My former boss, who had set me up, was present at the meeting convened to discuss the business. I'd heard from Toda that he'd be there.
The reason you are where you are now is thanks to me. Given our past relationship, I was hoping you'd give us a good deal.
I don't remember you looking after me. Are you mistaking me for someone else? The reason I am where I am now is thanks to my president, Rumi-san. Having looked at your proposal, we simply cannot accept it.
So, we won't be doing business together.
As Inaba-san made it clear what our position was, I wasted no further time to kick them out of the office. I mean, welcoming them out the door. They kept on contacting us for a while after that, but one day, the call suddenly stopped. Curious as to what had happened, I gave Toda a call.
Maybe because I told everyone at the company what had happened. Our head of department is now so busy trying to protect his reputation, I don't think he has much time to be going around making deals.
That's a bit risky for you, isn't it?
Those guys treated you horribly. I can't forgive them.
The rumors Toda had spread reached even their clients. Because of that, the company slowly lost more and more business. My former boss was also eventually demoted. Ultimately, we did end up getting revenge. But we felt uneasy leaving Toda at the company, so we decided to ask him to join ours.
I can't wait to begin working with you again, Tsumi-san!
It seems that before Toda joined us, he'd been promoting our company's reputation, and recently, we've been receiving many inquiries from people at my previous company, looking to work there. Thanks to some great people joining, our company is now performing very well.
This is all thanks to how nice you are as a human being. Look at you.
I haven't done anything. I'm just blessed to be around nice people.
No, it's your personality. You're very popular and yet don't seem to be aware of it.
Yes, I think I also didn't realize how great you are.
Working at that company was hard, but at least it wasn't a waste of time. I look forward to working hard here as Inaba-san's right-hand man.